What's up everybody, it's Drew Wilkins with Swine and Bovine Barbecue, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make some absolutely delicious, juicy Texas hot link sausages. So let's get going. We have ourselves 2,838 grams of brisket trimmings. That equates to about 6 1/4 pounds, and we're going to turn it into some delicious Texas hot link sausage. So let's add our spices. First we're going to add kosher salt, coarse black pepper, crushed red pepper, cayenne pepper, granulated garlic, granulated onion, ground mustard, yellow mustard seeds, and then pink curing salt. Now we're going to give it a thorough mix. The exact amounts for the spices, meat, and everything will be listed in the description below. When we mix this, we're looking for a thorough mix, and we just want to make sure by the time it's combined, when we look at the bottom of the bowl, that there's nothing there. It's all adhered to the meat. Our meat's sufficiently coated in the spice mixture, so we're gonna put it in the fridge overnight, let it cure. We'll come back tomorrow and grind it and case it. It's the following day and our meat is nice and cured. I put it on a sheet tray and into the freezer for roughly an hour. That way it gets nice and firm. I had the sausage components in the freezer as well. We wanna keep it as cold as possible. That way we get a great grind on the meat. I've got the coarse die on, so we're gonna load this into the grinder. Turn it on and grind away. This is the 1 horsepower made with meat grinder, and it maybe took 30 seconds to get all that meat through. I've mentioned it before, but I like to double grind when I make sausage. It makes the mixing process easier. You could get away with a single grind and heavily mix it, but it just takes a little less time doing it this way. So I'm gonna grind this meat one more time through the same coarse die. And we're done. Less than 3 minutes and we ground up 6 1/4 pounds of meat. So we're gonna mix this up by hand, and then we're gonna add some dried milk powder as a binder and some liquid, but I'm gonna get this grinder out of the way first. Now we're gonna start mixing this sausage till it gets a nice tight bind. The double grind helps make this process take less time, which is great because this sausage is really cold, and I forgot to put cotton liners on underneath my hands, so the less time I have to do this, the better. Got it mixed a decent amount. Now we're gonna go in with some non-fat dried milk powder. This is our binder. We're gonna mix it in just a little bit. Get that lightly mixed in. Now we're gonna add some ice cold water. Now just mix until we've got a nice tacky bond. We are nice and tacky. As you can see, this is holding together. Pick some up, hold it on your hand. Doesn't wanna fall apart. Let's get it in the stuffer. Adding our meat into the stuffer, you want to press it down really good. You don't want any air pockets that can come through and then make their way into the sausage, because we don't want any air pockets in our sausage when we actually stuff it. So kind of punch it down in there, make sure it's packed in nice and tight. So we're using 32mm hog casings, standard for making sausage. So just put them on the horn. You can get these casings on Amazon. They come dried and packed in salt. I'll have the ones that I used linked in the description below. You can also get them from the meat market. I recommend going that route. There's a lot of sausage casings, but the last package I got lasted me for over a year, and I kept them in a salt brine in the refrigerator. Found them to be more durable than the ones that are dried and packed in salt. These work well, but if you got a butcher that has them, I recommend going that route if you plan on making a decent amount of sausage. And they're longer, so you don't have to continually add separate ones. Crank this out till we got a little bit of meat coming out the tip. Pull this down, tie it off. Now these first ones, I leave this tail. I've found I always cut it too short and it expands once the casing starts to stuff. Every time I snip it, it feels like it's too close and it ends up popping out the end. Put some decent pressure on the horn here. We want nice plump links going for about 6 inches. Tight, but not too tight to where you pop it. And I popped it. It happens. Simply start over again. If we're gonna pop one, might as well have it happen in the beginning. Knock on wood, because I might pop several. So let's try this again. What I do is the first link, when I'm done, I twist away from me. So away towards, away towards, away towards. I've unwound links all too often, so this is my way of doing it. So if I went away, the next one's towards. There we go, and now pinch it and go towards. And just keep going. Our links are done. Only had 3 pop. I'll take that. more than I would like, but 3's not too bad in the grand scheme of things, especially when you already have to reload the stuffer in the first place. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put these on the sheet tray on a wire rack and run a fan over them, just a box fan. That's gonna help dry out the casings. It'll allow us to cut them into individual lengths, and then we're gonna go ahead and smoke them day of. So by the time we've got the pit fired up, these should be ready to go on. After about 45 minutes in front of the fan, our links are nicely dried out, ready to snip. So we're gonna cut these into individual links, get them on the pit. I like to put the links on a wire rack when I put them on the pit. Helps keep them clean, you don't have to wipe them off. I'll put them on like this, and then add the other ones in the middle. So we're gonna shut this down, let these go between 125, 150, until the color's right, probably 2 to 3 hours, and then we'll flip them. So what we're doing right now is cold smoking the sausage. It's not a true cold smoke. We're gonna keep it between 125 and 150 degrees, but this method will dry out the casings so you get that nice snap. We'll also put it in an ice bath after we're done with the cold smoke, which will help with that as well. It'll also give it some fantastic smoke flavor, and it'll make these all beef hot links really, really red in color and have a great appeal from a presentation perspective. That's the purpose for this cold smoke, and what allows us to do it at these temperatures and avoid bacterial issues such as botulism is the peat curing salt. If you don't use curing salt, just keep it at 200 plus for the entire cook and cook them throughout the whole way. But what we're doing now is not to actually cook the sausage, but drying out the casings, imparting smoke flavor, and getting some amazing color on our links. A little over 2 hours in, and these are looking fantastic. So we're gonna flip them over, let them keep going until they get the color we want on the bottom side. 2 hours on the other side and 4 hours total. Our sausages are done cold smoking. They have fantastic red color, look absolutely incredible. So now it's time to put them in an ice bath. So the ice bath serves two purposes. It stops the sausages from cooking, and it also shrinks the casings to the meat and provides that nice snappy texture that we all love in sausages. So I'm gonna get the rest of the sausages off the pit, put them in the ice bath, and then put them in the fridge. Most of them are gonna get vac sealed for consumption at a later date, but I'm gonna save a handful of them to fully cook tomorrow, and if they taste anything like they look, then I think we're in for a treat. Our pit is cruising along around 250-ish. So let's go ahead and throw 4 of our Texas hot links right on the pit. Gonna let these go for 20-30 minutes, however long it takes for them to get nice, plump, and fully cooked through. Once that's done, we'll be back. Roughly 25 minutes later, and our links are done. They're looking great, feeling nice and plump. So we're gonna pull these, let them rest for a bit, and we're gonna dig in. Our links are looking shiny and delicious. So let's slice into one of these, see how they're looking. Let's go with this little guy up front first. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Plenty of juice. I love the mustard seeds in here. It's like a nice little pop of flavor. Lots of juice on this one. Looking unreal. Let's see how they taste. So we know our sausage looks great, is nice and juicy, but how does it taste? The work is done, so let's give it a go. Cheers. That's hands down my favorite sausage that I cook. I've made this link several times. One thing that I have added recently is the mustard seeds. This link is so hard to beat. It's full of flavor. It's pretty spicy. If you've got someone that is a little sensitive to spice, you may want to dial back the crushed red pepper and cayenne a bit. The flavor is there. It is a nice beefy sausage. It has all the notes that you want in a sausage. The garlic, the onion, the mustard, the cayenne, the crushed red pepper, which I love crushed red pepper on almost everything. Make cacio e pepe and put a little crushed red pepper in it for some spice. But it really comes through and tastes incredible in this sausage. It's perfectly salted. I've been making sausages for over 3 years, all sorts of different kinds of sausages, and this one is my absolute favorite. There's just not much not to like about that, and given the fact that it is juicy, there is a decent amount of fat content, it's not overly heavy. So you can motor through a link, no problem. So we got it sliced up. Let's see what the bite test sounds like. How snappy is this sausage? Full of juice, full of flavor, everything you want in a sausage. One thing I do want to note, if the high cost of the equipment that I was using is deterring you from making sausage, don't let it be. If you have a KitchenAid mixer, you can get the KitchenAid attachment. As a matter of fact, that's what I used for 2 years as my grinder. I actually used it for the stuffer the first go around, and I ended up buying a purpose-built stuffer after that. It's a bit of a pain, and you probably need more than one person to stuff a sausage effectively and efficiently. But if that's all you have, don't let it deter you. Cannot recommend getting into sausage making enough. The world is your oyster when it comes to making sausage. Now, I've never had an oyster sausage. That might be a little interesting, but someone's probably done it, and there's probably a way to make it taste good. But that's gonna wrap us up for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions on what you want to see me cook next, please leave it in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. And if you cook anything from one of my videos, feel free to tag me on Instagram. My handle is @Swine and Bovine BBQ. But thanks for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one.